Hey everybody, it's Christine and it is International Scrapbooking Day weekend. So the actual day is tomorrow, May 1st, but it's kind of celebrated all weekend long. So today I'm going to share with you a new layout I made using the brand new collection from Simple Stories. It is one of their simple vintage collections and it's called Farmhouse Garden. And as you would expect, beautiful patterns, beautiful colors, lots of just fun stuff to work with. So since it's International Scrapbooking Weekend, I wanted to do a layout that kind of focused on some of my favorite techniques. The simple vintage collections tend to be one of the collections I love the most. I would not have said that a year ago, but over the last year, they have come to be some of my favorites. So that's why I chose to work with that one. I also love to have circles on my layouts. So I'm gonna have a circle, and I've been doing a lot of paper tearing over the last year. So I thought I would bring in some of these favorites into my layout for today. Now this layout is featured as part of an Instagram hop, which has some amazing prizes from Simple Stories. So once again, I'm gonna direct you over to Instagram. If you're not already a follower of mine over there, you can find me as Scrapping with Christine. And you can get in on the whole hop and get some prizes. And holy cow, what a talented team. So many great layouts to look at. And mini albums and cards and all kinds of stuff in that hop. So be sure to head over and check that out. Now, I am taking this peach colored paper, which actually has roosters or hens or something, some kind of a chicken on it. You can't tell that. It's a very subtle pattern. But as I was tearing it apart, I was like, oh, this is sort of a random choice for a picture that really doesn't have anything to do with that. But nevertheless, the color really looked nice, I thought, up against my pictures that I have, which you'll see in a little bit. So I'm just taking the 12 by 12 paper and I'm literally just tearing it up into strips and then adding it back onto this circle. My circle is cut to be 9.5 inches, so it's pretty big, but not huge. I didn't want it to get too close to the edges of the layout. And you can see I am putting the white part of the tear up, and I'm intentionally tearing that way. I cannot tell you exactly how to do that, except for that you just need to figure that out and then approach it. And that's like literally what I did. Like if I tear this way, oh yeah, no, that doesn't get it to me. If I tear this way, it does. And then I ended up flipping my paper over to make it easier to tear, and etc., etc. So I do have the white edge showing, and that was my preference for this time. Otherwise it would have still looked torn, but just stuck with the peach all the way. Now that I've got those all attached on there, I'm going to go ahead and trim up the edges and turn it back into a circle. And I will be using this as the base of my whole layout. Now, I always get lots of questions asked about my circle cutter when I use it here on camera, as I did today. And I can tell you it's no longer made. I got it like 12 years ago or something, a long time ago. But if I was without a big circle cutter or an electronic die cut machine or something that would make it possible for me to cut a circle to exactly this size, I would grab a dinner plate, trace it, cut it out. Your edges, if you trace it and cut, you're going to get close enough to perfection, especially with this torn paper on top, that it's not even going to be an issue. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add my pictures. I pulled out some chipboard frames from this collection, specifically avoiding the farm animals and sticking more with the floral aspects of things to frame this. So these are pictures of my daughter last weekend, actually. She had her confirmation at church, and the trees were blooming beautifully. And so these trees specifically were blooming a white, very soft peach pink color. And so that was why I specifically picked the peach background. When I laid my pictures up against it, I knew it was a win. It was just the perfect match. And the blue in her dress is a little too purpley for what is in this collection. It's got more of an aqua tone to it in this collection. So I knew I didn't want to have too much of that in there. Now for my base paper, I opted to use one of the Color Vibe wood grain papers instead of a paper from this collection. And that seems to be the direction that I go a lot lately, using whether it's a Color Vibe cardstock, textured cardstock paper, or using one of the lightly patterned ones. Just because very often the collections themselves have a lot of pattern going within the patterned paper, and I want something a little more subtle. And also, it's sometimes, it's just the wrong color. Like the peach one I knew I wanted to use for the circle, so I couldn't use it for my background, and there just wasn't quite the right fit otherwise. So I love that that is an option, all of the different Color Vibe cardstocks, and I love that I'm able to keep them on hand for when I need another good match that maybe isn't specifically in the collection itself. Now, with the chipboard frames, I am adding those on, and I'm offsetting them. I'm not keeping them on perfectly straight. And then I am going to build those out and embellish them with a whole bunch of these garden bits, which are just like the bits and pieces that we normally get, or the floral bits. Those always come with their collections. These ones specifically are called garden bits because they are all plants and butterflies. So super fun set of bits and pieces in this specific collection. I'm going to focus on the colors that are peach, coral, and the blues. And the blues are far enough away from the picture at this point that I could make them work. I just knew I couldn't use a real bold blue patterned paper. And I think you can probably even see that within the pictures. It's just not quite the right shade of blue when you look at her dress and then you look at the flowers that I have going on. Now I am going to pull out the 6x8 sticker book. I'm also going to be using some of the foam stickers, just going to be giving this collection a real heavy workout using a variety of products. This is the first time I've worked with this collection. I will have another time coming up soon, specifically for the Simple Stories blog. So it's always so fun to open up a collection for the first time and just look through the products and see how you're inspired. And so that was the case with this one. And I really love the colors. I'm looking forward to playing with the actual farm animals and that kind of stuff a little bit too. Just it wasn't quite the right fit for today's layout, but I'm looking forward to giving that a bit of a workout. One of the things I did not consider before I decided to work with this collection was if there was a good title piece within. And a lot of the title pieces in this focus on plural things, together, family, that kind of stuff. And obviously that's not going to work for a single picture of my teenage daughter. However, there was Bloom and Grow, which I thought was kind of a perfect saying for a couple of reasons. Number one, spring. I took the pictures with her in front of those beautiful blooming trees, but also it was her confirmation day. And so Bloom and Grow is like kind of a perfect saying for that day. And so I thought that worked really well. Now, ideally in my brain, it would have been a different color. But it came in that peach color, and thankfully it was outlined in white, or really off-white. So it still pops on the page. Otherwise, if it had just been solid peach, I don't think it could have worked with my peach background, but it did. And so I placed that in between my two framed pictures. I did pop it up a little bit underneath with some foam adhesive so that it would lay flatly. And then I am going to just go crazy adding butterflies. And all of these butterflies come from the Garden Bits set of ephemera, and also I did pull in a few stickers from the sticker book. So lots of butterflies, so many butterfly options in this collection, which is pretty true regularly to their simple vintage collection, so it's not really a big surprise. But they worked really nicely with this layout, and I liked that there were a wide variety of color options as well as sizes. My final step is going to be to add some heart stickers. Now, normally here you're probably thinking, oh, her last step is going to be to add enamel dots or Nuvo drops. So today I didn't do it, and I really actually kind of had to resist the urge to do it but I didn't think it was quite the right fit. I didn't think it was necessarily going to enhance the sort of vintagey look I've got going on. I wouldn't say this is straight up vintage, but I felt like the hearts were a better fit. So I'm using hearts from, you can see I'm using them from the 6x8 sticker book as well as the chipboard. And on the chipboard ones, I did go ahead and add some adhesive dots just to make sure they stuck on there because they're heavy and can easily get knocked off. And so I added that on those as well. So as I mentioned, head to Instagram, get in on the giveaway. They're giving away simple page kits with their newest collections, and they're giving away 5 of them that include multiple page kits. So really great chance to try out some cool simple stories collections. And that is it. Head to Instagram at my name is Scrapping with Christine. You can find it easily on there, and have a great weekend. Let me know if you're scrapbooking this weekend. I'd love to hear what you're doing in the comments down below, and we will see you again next time.